عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Here at Adam, we take the security issue very seriously, and we do have a couple of security companies that we deal with. Alhamdulillah, at least they have very professional and well-trained officers. I'm very sure you see them around during the Friday prayers and every time we have a large event as the masjid. We do our best as human beings. If anybody tells you that we can stop or prevent any incident or every incident, that's not true. We do our best as human beings, and we take everything, as I said, seriously and responsibly, but we leave the rest up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There will always be some acts of some people that we don't expect or we're not aware of, or things can happen at any time on any given day. Just like what happened on the Eid that you all witnessed. We were here, we were prepared, especially with the nature of our community and the nature of our practice. People come in, and you can't stop or you cannot tell who is doing what or who is about to do what. So things can be unpredictable a lot of time. Are we ready for it? Yes, alhamdulillah, we are ready for it. Are we ready to deal with it? Yes, we are. But we can't always predict what can happen. We saw just a few weeks prior to that incident what happened in New Jersey. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect all of us. Somebody came out and just among the Musallin from the community and stabbed the Imam. And things like this, as I'm saying, nobody can help and nobody can protect. There is no way we can body search everybody who's coming inside the masjid. It's just not possible. And do we watch for things? Yes, we do. Do we have people who keep an eye on people who we are not used to in the community or not regular, you can say? Yes, we do. And we take every measure into consideration and everything into consideration, and we do our best. We spend a lot of money, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, on security at Adam, and it's a huge budget to have somebody. We can't have somebody 24 hours, 24/7 present at the masjid, at least not for now, because it does cost us a lot of money. Me, myself, I'm here every time I can, and I'll just wait for your questions and your concerns, inshallah. Brother is asking about the doors, that we always have problems with the doors, and they left open and unlocked. Yes, we do have problems with the doors. Unfortunately, I don't know what happens, and that's even before I come aboard. We always had problems with the doors, and we spend a lot of money on them to fix them. And alhamdulillah, we just did fix the problem again. Again, you're going to take into consideration the amount of traffic that we have on a daily basis. This is not a company that have like 50 or 100 employees that come in and out twice or 3, 4 times a day. We have, mashallah, sometimes more than 1,000 people come in and out maybe 3 or 4, 5 times a day. And so the doors get used very, very harsh. And yes, they do break down. We keep fixing them. It would have been ideal if we had automatic doors. But, and we thought about that and we consider those, but they're going to be extremely expensive to be replaced with automatic doors. And again, we will have to keep them open during the prayer times when we have a lot of traffic, even if we do have automatic doors, because if we leave them open and close every time somebody's coming, we're going to have the same problem again because of the amount of use that will be used for. So we do, we're trying to do our best on the doors. We're trying to fix them. And if anybody has other options, other solutions, we open to that, inshallah ta'ala. Any suggestions, any solutions, we are open to that as well.
For the purpose of our community, I think at least lessons learned needs to be documented and shared with the construction committee, so that other construction project that we don't have similar issues. So let's share that feedback that we got with the construction committee, so that in a construction approach, see perhaps we invest more money into the door, so that we don't have to repeat the mistakes, just like we had issues with the carpet and sound and this and that. So please share that with the construction committee as well, that feedback. Any other security question? Yes. There are two. One. Go ahead, brother. Thank you. Got it. I know Brother Majid has a question as well. Go ahead. Thank you. That's what we will share the feedback with construction committee. But Nasir, got it. We'll share the feedback with the construction committee, inshallah. One second. Bilal had a question, but before you, Brother Harun has a question.
Well, we do have on all the doors, there are certain things you can um, enforce and ask people for. And so I was saying, I will try to speak loud, inshallah. I was saying that there are certain things you can write and ask from people, but there are other things that we can't really, there is nothing we can deal with. We have on all the doors, I'm sure you noticed, it says that nobody is allowed with any kind of weapons whatsoever to enter the building with at any time. Nobody.
Brother Harun, can I get your help to sit down with Brother Nasser and develop that template, inshallah, for us? If you help out, that will be appreciated. Bilal. Is there a central mechanism to lock all the doors should there be a sudden need of an emergency of some sort?
Not that I know of. And it's a question we will have to address to the construction company. The what?
We have not explored that specific matter, but this is a very good point to highlight that should there be a security need, that there's an event outside happening that you want to lock and secure your occupants inside, can you do that by locking all the doors from coming, accessing from outside? Very good suggestion, Bilal. I don't think we have that yet, but I think we take it as a great suggestion. One second, brother had a hand raised before you. No. So, so good question. So we are now transitioning. Yes. So he's bringing up three things. Three things. The last first is us, anybody who is here, be vigilant. Watch out of what is behind you, ahead of you. Number one. Number two, his question is, beyond that event of that happened, are there other security matters that happen that triggers this question? No, there are other security, but we are always addressing security concerns. One thing that we're working on, Brother Nasir has the task actually, is something called SCOP, Special Conservations of Peace. It's if you go, what it does, it gives our security team the ability of a police, as you see in a college campus, just like Nova has their own police force. Our security force would have that ability. So two things that we benefit. Managing the traffic on the street right now, we don't have that right. In the legal terms, we don't. Except for police come and manage the traffic. So that gives us 25 feet from our property the ability to manage our own traffic, which means we can manage the traffic on Draysville Road as well. So that would be seamless for us, inshallah, in our traffic management. So it's not an easy task, but we're working on that, but the Nasir is working on that. So inshallah, make dua that we get SCOP. I don't know, we have a deadline, but we're working on that. The other benefit of that is what police does outside, typically, I mean, our security has certain limits that they cannot manage your security beyond a certain extent. SCOP has far more ability being a cop and so on. So these are the things that's expanding. We're also expanding on the equipment and so on. We recently updated our cameras and so on. We're not there. We need a lot more. But we're working on it. We are seeking out different funds to answer your questions that what has changed. We're seeking different funds, grants from governments, others, to support our equipment needs and so on, alhamdulillah. We recently got $18,000 grants from the government to upgrade some of our camera systems and so on. We're working on those. But the first thing he mentioned, that's the transitioning, inshallah, from security, is mental health. That what is happening in mental health, that's a concern. And I would like Imam Majid to address that because his domain, his area. And this was the other topic we had this morning, other than security, funeral home. And inshallah, our funeral home team is here, so we'll answer your question on funeral home as well. So mental health, I want Imam Majid to give you a general overview of how our mental health program is set up and how to prevent and help the community on mental health, inshallah.
Yes. First of all, Dr. Alvi is organizing, inshallah, planning a health fair at Adam Center with the county. And also the county will provide, the education in the issue of health free of charge for the community. Therefore, it's very important for all of us, inshallah, to take advantage of this, and we will announce the date, inshallah, and the time for all of you to participate. Regarding mental health, first of all, we gave a khutbah Jum'ah in all the branches about how to deal with social media. And alhamdulillah, we get a very good feedback from the community that was very much needed to address contemporary issue. And thank you, Dr. Nassimi, preparing the resource guide for the Khatib in this. Now, the issue that I have how community react to an incident in a masjid. I said that, and I said again, don't pull your phone and record every matters, please. If matter being handled by the official in the masjid, let it be there. I was told somebody want to document it. Everyone want to document it, what happened. You don't have to do that. You know, that there's administrations are taking care of the matter before pulling your phone, recording it, and posting it in social media with misinformation about what took place. That really could make some people lose their life somewhere else, especially when you have misinformation about the identity of a person. The second, mental health issues is like any physical sickness. A person can have stomachache, a person can have cancer, a person can have any kind of sickness. And a person that have mental health is a person that we need to take care of their well-being, to provide help for them. At Adam Center, alhamdulillah, we have about maybe 16 mental health counselors. Adam Center subsidizes those. We actually pay for people who cannot afford it. We have, alhamdulillah, we hired in-house mental health counselor to our clinic. Wonderful sister. We have a referral system that how we refer people to those mental health services. But alhamdulillah, our mental health program have been features around the United States. Sister Sue Caffrey have traveled before and represented this model around the United States. But alhamdulillah that we decided to hire somebody in-house, and the sister, she works for the clinic. She does mental health. And we have all of those 16 mental health counselors that are being subsidized by the masjid for those who cannot afford it. We need to have more mental health awareness. We have done many seminars, as Dr. Elvi just have said. We'll continue to do that, working with the county and others to address many health issues. But we have made seminars, khutbah jum'ahs, and so forth about mental health, because mental health in our community is like a taboo. People don't like to go for counseling, and they don't like to seek sometimes help because of the stigma. But alhamdulillah, we've been working for this for a while. Now many people seek counseling. Matter of fact, some of those counselors have a waiting list because of the awareness that we have created in the community regarding mental health. The other issue is that the support system that the community should give to a family that's going through a very difficult time with some of the mental health. If we start have a stigma on that family, and then you see that family don't like to talk to them, you're isolating the family, you're not helping the situation. Please, don't do that. Don't label family. One of the problems we have in this community, labeling people. When you label a family, you counsel them, as they said, it is not acceptable Islamically, morally. You have to be compassionate, be caring individuals, and we make prayer, dua, for that family who are going in a very difficult time regarding their loved one.
Yeah, Saad.
I will comment on the things, and then I will maybe give it to my other brothers. Regarding Saad point of recording everything, and the community took ijtihad. I understand that. I do understand people want to be helpful. But, to be honest with you, I don't think everyone should pull the camera. This is my opinion. Why? I think we should designate, Adam Center officially should designate recording, if there's a main recording of the activities in Khutbah al-Eid, make that the official recording. Because, no matter what you do, Saad, with the regarding educating the community, provide information, they're not going to do that. You know that. No one going to say what or going to wait until asked to. People are excited about want to put things immediately in their social media. Therefore, I think that we need to have just discipline that if you recorded something, like I give an example. We have the general body meeting, and I said no recording. I said that. I went to a meeting in one of the embassy, iftar, and somebody told me from another community, he says, by the way, I just received a video of a general body meeting, at the Adam Center. I said, he did? He said, yeah. He said, I want to make sure everything is okay. I said, they're not supposed to be recorded. He said, really? Discipline. Why this fever of social media and so forth? I'm completely disagreeing with this. I understand that people wanted to make a point about what happened to Muslims in India. We can have another session on that. We can keep talking about this. But, the assumption being made also could cost some people life, by the way. Misunderstanding have cost people life. But I just wanted to, I see the point of view you're making, but I'm just saying my point of view. That I'm disagreeing with this, me personally. I think it is very difficult to control things when things go viral. Let us, from the beginning, designate somebody who will record, take care of this. And I don't know if there's two things I want to say about the security. I think that if we know somebody have repeated incident in the masjid of people of mental health, then we should really talk to the family, give them something in writing, how to deal with their loved one, because some people said to me, the sister have done something before. But that's one of the things we should do. The second thing, regarding, I think how do we correct it? Those are all the questions for Brother Nasser, by the way. I'm not a security, but I'm saying I agree that we should, communication is very important. When something happened in the masjid, we should not wait on it. We should communicate. And we did communicate, by the way. We did send something in writing, did we? We sent something in writing to the community. We told them what happened. We told them this issue of mental health. And they send that communication to people to know what exactly have happened. What triggered these discussions, people were asking, are we secured in the masjid? If something happened, how to handling it? And Brother Nasser have answered some of those questions. I don't think we'll be able to prevent every incident, as Brother Nasser said, but we need to create what they call it in other communities, like the Jewish community, the churches, and so forth. They have something, training in active shooting, for example. And we did one at Adams. Yeah, we did that. We did that many times. I myself, that attended the Adams Center with teachers and others about active shooting. We do that. Therefore, how do you respond to that in the community? But it is very important for all of us to create an awareness, alertness, every one of us to be vigilant in the masjid, because security cannot do all of it. If you see something, for example, if somebody leave a bag there and you see it there in the suitcase, you should inform the security. They say, by the way, I see a bag here. I don't know what this bag is. The security come and You know, even in Homeland Security, I attended a meeting during Obama time, and they had all the clergy in the room, and they want us to do to promote a program called "If you see something, say something." If you see something, say something. Meaning that if you see something that's not usual, unusual activities, say something about it. Rather than person said all the security have to know everything. We should be informing also people with security if we see something unusual in the masjid or outside in the parking lot or behavior that we think that maybe could be dangerous in the community. That's what I think all of us should participate in.
I just want to add one more thing, what Majid said. While video recording and uploading social media may give individual highlights and many likes, that also puts many families at risk. As Imam Majid mentioned, that specific incident, that same evening, afternoon, the husband and family, children called me up. That's the first time I realized actually the significance. I wasn't here physically, and I didn't know it is the extent it happened. So husband wanted to meet me. I ran, met outside, in tears that now my family at risk. Two reasons. One, the person who is victim of it, the mental health situation, it adds a suicidal tendency in them for what they're seeing outside. But the family is at risk of retaliation. Those who knows them now suddenly, the family at risk, literally felt insecure and at risk. So we had to step up and protect the family as well at that juncture. We had to have our mental health program step in and see how can we support the family. So it may give an individual a profile and likes and so on in social media, but it also adds many more other issues within it. So Adams, as an institution, have a policy, no recording inside our premise on purpose, because many sisters have expressed disappointment of many people that are recording in the premise. They are uncomfortable. We should give them their privacy. We give them their rights. So that's why our recordings only happens through our means. Otherwise, the doors you will see, no recording. Adams said, let's respect that, inshallah, so our sisters, our community feel like they are not, safe, the extent possible. We need to transition over to the funeral home. Dr. Rifat and Abbas are from the funeral home. Abbas, can you come forward, inshallah? They're here from the funeral home team, inshallah. Let's answer them. But before we do that, let's hear a general update. What is the situation of the funeral home, Dr. Rifat? Abbas. Just want to introduce the funeral home team so that we know. We have a project team. Alhamdulillah, it's a very large team that work. Abbas, can you come forward, inshallah? First off, of course, executive committee and board, we approve the project and then turn it over to the construction committee to work on it. A large construction team that's supporting that. But there's a project team that manages all aspects, construction, communication, logistics, operation, all that together. And we also have a funeral director who right now is almost a year supporting pro bono. But inshallah, when it gets operational, will be a full-time paid staff to manage the funeral home affairs. That's a licensed, registered funeral director, and that's required for an institution like ours. With that, Dr. Rifat and Abbas are part of the construction project team. They're managing the project over the last almost a year now, plus more than a year actually. And they'll answer some of the questions related to funeral home, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. So, alhamdulillah, the funeral project, we went through, some hiccups during the process. In terms of the construction, we went to the phase that we need the freezers in order to continue the construction. So the construction was halted because we need to get the equipment in order to continue on that. And every one of us was kind of, excited that these equipments, we can go ahead and, buy it from anywhere easily. But the surprise that we had is that the market is very tight and very hard to get into ordering these. We take like 6 months for people to respond to us with a quote. Right, with a code, how much the freezers are. But alhamdulillah, the good news is that after all of this, almost 9 months now since we started ordering them, we have the freezers, and the construction should be resuming in order to install the rest of these. Alhamdulillah, also the construction itself, we go through many steps of refinement of how we should actually put these together, the inside set up for the structures. So this is going on, alhamdulillah. We should expect a few months, inshallah, in order to get this done. However, the community and, they have a concern that came a couple of weeks ago, and we'd like to address that as a community with open hearts, inshallah, and open minds in order to get all of these sorted out. But I want to just make, a very quick and basic principle that we are working on, which is what is happening at this moment in terms of the handling the funerals is going to continue with a better process through Adam's funeral home, inshallah, and human services, such that we make this stressful time an easy way to approach it. So, for example, the concern is we might be exposing the school children, right, to the funerals and the funeral process. And I wanted to assure everyone and the community that what's happening now, the amount of exposure that might happen is exactly that's going to happen later on with our funeral home in home here, inshallah. We are not going to increase any kind of interaction or exposure or any of that. We are going to work through the mitigation steps in order to make this seamless and very safe for the community, for our children, inshallah ta'ala. So that's just the basic outlines of what is the status is and how we are going to proceed, inshallah ta'ala. Brother Abbas, you want to add? Inshallah, yes. Yes, brother, go ahead. I wish we have, the question is that some parents heard, and I wish Imam Majid is next to me here, inshallah, to talk about that hearing And that's the point. I cannot talk about the religious issue in here. That we'd like to address as a community, and that's why we are here. We'd like to put the facts, right, better than just hearing from here and there and all of that. And inshallah ta'ala, we address that, and we know that we are a large community, and this kind of, news spread, inshallah, with good intentions. That's why I put it in there. But inshallah, we address it through these meetings, inshallah. As I mentioned, there is nothing that's going to increase the exposure or the movement of the caskets, all right, more than what's happening right now. So everything is going to be from the outside, and it's going to be covered, and nothing more. And even the timing, we are in control now, because that's our facility. We can control what time we can get the body in. We can control what time we get it out, and through what route that we'd like to do it. So that's all controllable. And that hearing that, here, we'd like to control this narrative. We are here to answer these questions, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. The mourners, how the brother is asking about, or the concern is that the funeral home is close next to the school, all right? And yes, a great concern that, it's next to the school, and then the mourners, all right, are going to be close to that. And the answer for that, brother, is this is an operational step. The mourners are not supposed to be there, and that's security that we are going to work with them such that they are here. The only thing that's taking place there is the washing the body. And the washing the body is what? The people that's inside. So there is no people are supposed to be outside and there, and that's security that we are going to work on that, making sure of that. The families are here. Why they are not supposed to be there? No, we are not going to allow that families are being there, or we are not going to offer chairs or settings or any of that. It's just going to be a canopy, right, that's going out, taken from the car to the facility, and then the facility takes the casket and comes here. The showing is going to be as it is happening right now. That's, of course, that's in the plan later on. But in order to think about the new masjid or the new entities and all of that, that means years. Right? And to go to, in order to go to the process. And that's things that, we don't have to, of course, to get all the community involved in that. But the community has also to realize how much work is needed with the state in order to get these things done. The only thing that helped us getting these things and the license is that we have a established entity, Adams, and the Adams Center as a building and, as an institution that's coming. That's what helped us. In order to get these things done in a new place or new facility that's not even being there, that's we are looking for 5-6 years. That's an operation. So the brother is asking, can we do the washing? But go ahead. I have a couple of answers. Okay. So the question is, can we schedule the washing outside of the school hours? Right? And the answer for that, that's possible. However, there are some concern that is coming there. Remember that we do the prayer here, for the most part, we do the prayer after Zuhr. So are we going to prepare the body from the night before? I don't think the families are going to be very happy with that. We can. As an operational committee, we can do that. However, the families, I think that they prepare the body in the morning and then get it out, all right, for Dhuhr prayer. So these are kind of discussion that we can take and we can have it together. It's not something very definite, but we can do it. We can prepare it and see how we can mitigate such things that we can have. Yes, I know the PGMA. I have in touch with them. I'm in communication with some brothers in there. Of course, we can for sure. They invited us actually to do a tour to them and operations, and we can collaborate with them, of course, inshallah. Yeah, you want to add something, brother?
So a couple of things. I'm going to start with Roy Shoaib's question and try to answer every question I would ask, actually. There's a concern that we're going to be using the school entrance. I think that's what the point he was trying to make is people are going to use a school entrance and elevator to bring the body up. That's one of the first things I want to mention is that's not true. There's never a plan to deviate from what we do now, which is to use the side entrance or the new building elevator. So when the body comes in, it's going to go into the hearse, be brought to the front, and then same route. It's going to stay on this side. So even for there are parents who are, personally I have 3 brothers and my kids. So we have about 7 kids who are coming to school here. We have the same concerns. And one of my brothers did talk to me, and he asked me what's going on, and I explained it to him. And to be honest with you, there's a problem with communication from this specific project point of view. People are concerned that we're going to be using a school entrance, and it's going to disrupt the school, and kids are going to see the body coming in and out. Like Brother here mentioned, that's not true at all. Nothing is changing from that point of view. The brother's question here was about being next to the classroom. There's I don't know how thick the wall is, but I think there's an 8-inch thick wall that's separating from classroom to, 18-inch, sorry. The only concern is there's a window there. There's an easy way to fix that. You can either get it tinted or put a blind. You can't hear anything, what's going on next door. This is a storage room we used to have, and we're converting it into a funeral home. There's no access from the classroom to that area. So, I understand yeah. So, again, that's Imam Majid. Probably. And sorry, one last point to that. There's a lot of people saying that this wasn't really communicated with the school and things like that. That's not true at all. The school was informed the week the project started. Again, and there's, I believe, August 22nd, 2022. It's when the email was sent out to the school principal. Actually, it was from the education coordinator. So everybody that's involved in education was aware of this because we had construction going on where the wall was removed from one of the classrooms, and we had communication back and forth. So we did communicate. Everybody was on the same page until recently. I'm not sure what changed, but I guess the parents didn't. It wasn't communicated to the parents, and that's probably the.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to refer to the brother's question. He's asking how we can actually manage the body is going to be delivered to us at these times or something. The operation that we are putting in place, that Adams we cannot support transporting the body from wherever, it's a hospital or the house, into here. So there is a company, right, third-party company that we are contracting that they are going to take the body. And these are able to take the body, have it there for a few hours or so until they deliver it to us. So if we'd like to deliver it at a certain time, we can manage that, inshallah. Right? Yes, another question.
So, the brother is saying if you can manage to do it between 8 to 2. If children are the concern, then we have Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, there's evening school. We're not going to be able to do anything if that's the case. Again, if there's minimum impact to the children, if nothing is changing from what it is today, then I don't see, again, it's up to Brother Muqtada and Imam Ali to say this, but I personally don't see a reason to limit our services to those hours because, again, it's not impacting anybody. It's not going to be done, the body washing is not going to be done in the open. Yes.
To that, I will add a comment. Even though we may not necessarily have to restrict, but we can restrict it. We will have a funeral director whose job is manage the operation based on our need, our specific need. There is a comment that between 8 and 9:30, students gather outside. Perhaps we don't want to bring in anybody while students are outside. Yeah, we can easily manage that component. We could say nobody comes between 8 to 9:30. But these specifics has to be managed on the ground by the funeral director based on our needs. Every funeral home has their very specific guidelines, how they manage their operations, their private operation. We decide how we want to manage. So once we permitting process all through, and we're ready to launch the operation, the funeral director, the security director has to get together with all to decide the code of conduct that Brother Harun was mentioning earlier. There has to be a code of conduct for the funeral home as well. So mourners has to come. They cannot be roam around the entire facility. While security are concerned, students are outside. All of that has to be addressed in a cohesive, collective manner. And inshallah it will. That's why he's a full-time funeral director. Remember, we may have one or two bodies. Why do I need a full-time funeral director? That's the reason you need a full-time funeral director, to manage everything else before and after the body comes here. And alhamdulillah, the project team is working cohesively, very closely with the funeral director to even now, or the last almost a year now, to manage those affairs.
So the brother is saying, all right, I think we need the brother with us. So at some point going to the meeting. But back to the question the brother was asking about the parents, and we are actually in that process. We're getting with the parents, we're getting with the school, and trying to see, making sure that people understand that we are not exposing the bodies while coming or any of that. That's the children are gonna to see what they have seeing, which is just a casket. So the question here, or the concern that's being sent, is that our children are gonna to see the deceased body. How this happen? With our construction right now, if you are outside the door, even in front of the door, you are not gonna see anything inside. And that's how we are managing it. And even if you go inside, of course, the door has to be closed, right, all the time. And then even if you enter, there are 2 stages in there that you are not going to even see the bodies. So there are a lot of details, brother and sister, that we can, inshallah, address on basics and depending on the questions. Yes, go ahead, brother. Yes. So the brother is saying that why we have the funeral next to the building. Couldn't we actually build it somewhere else? And again, this is going back. Yeah, that's so the brother was saying, why it is a close by, but this is a construction and planning question, and to be very honest with you, it has been addressed, it has been, planning, and we went through all of these phases, in order to make the feasibility.
So the question is, why didn't you build a facility, so much parking lot space and so much other space anywhere? As a mosque, we are permitted as a mosque, and it's a special permit for us. It was not zoned for a mosque, the space. Many years ago, when we started this journey, there's some limits that has been put on us. Even though we have vast land, we have a total limit of what can you build. It's far in the county code. We have that limit that we cannot exceed that far. And as a result, we cannot build anything within the premise that you see. What we have done, instead of building, the reason we could not build is we don't have the capacity from the zoning permit that we have, is if a space outside the facility. This is a storage area outside. You built from the beginning to be outside, not inside. Remember, that's what's important for us to acknowledge. That facility is outside the building. Any access from inside is not allowed in that. There's none. There's no doors from inside the building to go there. You have to be outside to get there. Even if now, if you want to go, you go outside the building, then come into that space. That's how it has been separated from the main building. Now, there's another question raised. We do have a 5-acre land in the back. Why wasn't it built in there? Before we started all this journey, in 2021, we hired a civil engineering group just to do that feasibility study of that land, whether that is feasible for the purpose we are discussing. And it came negative. Construction committee, women in construction committee at that time, before we decided this is the place, we hired a civil engineering group, the same group that had done our civil engineering for the pavilion space and others, to see our 5 acres land in the back, whether that is suitable for that purpose. It came out negative. And so I want to make sure you're aware, and collectively, because you guys, especially the project team, are aware that we did a feasibility study of that land. Because that was negative, we looked for alternative, and alhamdulillah, this became the best alternative for the institution.
Yeah, first, in terms of timings, we offered actually, and we sent a message yesterday, right, that we as a committee are available. I offered to come yesterday at 6:30 p.m. and answer any of these questions. And still, we are offering that as well. And you can tell any, inshallah, we can arrange some other sessions, and I'll be happy to be involved in this. And even with the school, we can come to the school as well anytime, inshallah, we can arrange. No. Yes. So the brother his suggestion that we should actually address that, and that's what we're doing. Even we spoke with the construction, and we are getting the construction team to us on Tuesday to discuss more, and definitely we are not going to proceed unless, exactly, we had a Zoom meeting with them, with the school, and concerned parents, teachers, and we are offering that as well. We are not going to proceed completely unless we have, inshallah, address all of these comments. All right? Inshallah ta'ala, it's time for duha. So we'll pray, inshallah, and we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us together. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم آلف بين قلوبنا على طاعتك اللهم آلف بين قلوبنا على محبتك اللهم آلف بين قلوبنا على نصرة كتابك وسنة نبيك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر جزاكم الله